Hey friends, Catherine here. The idea today is to make a fold-over bookmark shaped like a pineapple. So I've got some colors of cardstock out that I think will be useful for this. I'm going to do the base in this color. I'm going to do the texture of the pineapple in this color, and I'm going to do the leafy green bits at the top in this one. So let's set this one aside for now, and set this one aside for now. And start off with this. We will pull our cutter over and cut off a piece that we feel like is a good width for a bookmark. I like my bookmarks kind of chunky, but I think maybe that much. Maybe a little bit further, give ourselves some extra room just in case. Okay, so there is the section that we are going to be using for this. So I'll set this aside for another project another day. And then what we are going to do is set our cutter aside for a moment. We'll need it again in a little bit, but for now we will put it aside and get something that will show up well on this. I'm thinking black. Why not? Okay, so we're going to want to fold our top over because it's going to be a fold-over bookmark. Haha. And then what we are going to do is draw a pineapple shape on here. Now, pineapples are sort of, when seen from the side, rectangular, but with like rounded corners. So kind of like this. There we go. Something like that for our pineapple shape ought to do it. So let's pull over a pair of scissors and cut it out. And we're going to be cutting through our fold over piece as well for this at the moment anyway. We will do something more with it in a little bit, but for now let's just cut straight through it. And then what we're going to do is set this aside and then flip it over and round out the fold over flap. And this one we will cut just the flap on. Okay. Because that is going to be our fold over part, and it will also be the top of the pineapple, from like if we were looking at a view from like the top down. So that'll be the top of it. Then what we are going to do is grab back over our texture color and take out our cutter and slide the texture color under, and let's set it at 1/2 inch. I feel like 1/2 inch is a good set, and we will cut off a strip and set that aside, and then cut off a second strip at 1/2 inch. There we go. And I think that might be enough. And let's do a third one just for good measure. Won't hurt anything to have a third one cut out, and if we don't end up needing that much, oh well, but if we do end up needing it, then we'll have it ready. Okay, and then set this piece of paper away from another day and grab over our strips and put them on and cut them each at 1/2 inch. That is totally not in frame. There we go. Okay. So what we're doing here is just making a bunch of squares, 1/2 inch squares. All right, pull it over, set it at 1/2 inch, and cut some more squares. And then push it over, set it at 1/2 inch, cut some more squares. So this is going to be a little bit of a process on this one. But once we've got all of our squares done, we will be able to move on to adhering them to our background with glue, because glue is wonderful. Go. Just slicing up all of the strip into squares. Yeah, and we probably actually could have gotten away with just 2 strips instead of 3 now that I'm looking at how many squares this is making, but oh well. We'll have extra confetti, whatever. There you go. Okay. Slight bit more. It's going to be difficult toward the end here, so I think we're just going to skip out on that part. And that'll be good. So now we've got our base and our yellow squares. Now to just attach them all on, I'm thinking tacky glue. So we'll take and we will just put a dab of tacky glue on the back of each square and attach them on diagonally. Let's see, and this one's going to go toward the bottom. We're going to want to leave some space in between the textured areas. That way you end up seeing the color behind. Go, just attaching all of these. Ooh, if I can pick them up. There we go. Trying to leave an even amount of space, squishing that glue around a bit. Okay. And just do this for the rest of our background, which might get a little bit tedious, but we'll see. See how it goes. Go. Here we are. That, I think, is coming along, and I don't mind at all if they hang out off over the edges, because I can come back through with my scissors afterward and just trim those edges off so that they go all the way to the edge. Go. Just kind of trying to line them up evenly-ish with one another. They don't have to be exact because pineapples do have a little bit of variation in their pattern. And actually pineapples are more of a hexagonal shape rather than a square shape in their pattern as well. But squares are so much easier. Squares are just so much easier. Go. There we are. Kind of squish them around a little bit, try and get the glue everywhere so that it holds down the corners. There we are. And once we've got these all on, we'll let them set for a moment, and then we will, while they are setting, work on the design of our leafy bit at the top. Go. Okay. All right, like halfway done, I think. I'd call that halfway. Just put a little daub on the edge right there because we only need to stick the edge down. There we are. Slowly but surely making our way across the pineapple universe into unknown territories of fruit and craft fruits. There we go. Let's go that direction. I think that's going to be the best way. This is going to look the nicest, especially with our gluing paper together theme we've got going on for these bookmarks, but man, is gluing these little confetti pieces taking up time. This is not a quick project, or at least not as quick as I was thinking it was going to be. Go. There we are. Squidge it around a little bit so that the glue gets everywhere. Really do want it to stick down, don't want it to peel up in the middle of a book. Or anywhere else for that matter, honestly. Go. Alright, and then because this part is covered by the fold over part, if I get to a place where a square doesn't fit all the way up here underneath this crease, I'm just going to not put them there. That's got to be the best solution. Go, just kind of filling them in at a diagonal, trying to make everything work. Bumped that one out of place. That's okay. Work out. All work out. Okay, I think this will be the last square for this one, and then we can flip over our fold over bit and put some squares on there as well. Okay, and then, see, that one doesn't quite work. It's okay, we can make it work. There we have it. Okay. Now, on the top as well. Let's scooch that down a bit more. Go. Let's turn that direction. That'll work out nicely. And this one just on the corner. Okay. I think just to the side on this one. We are. Next row. There we go. Sorry if you can hear the train. There's a train in the far distance that is just really into its horn for some reason. Ah, well. These things do happen, I suppose. Oh, okay. Then a little bit here and here. And then once those dry, we can cut them off. All right, so let's set this aside for the moment to dry. And while it is drying and setting and everything, we will make our pineapple top. So let's grab over our green paper and our cutter and slice off like that much. I don't think it'll take more than that. Okay, and then set that paper aside for another project another day. And then grab our scissors and cut this roughly in half. We don't have to be exact about that. And then draw our top. So let's see, it's going to want to be like that. Sort of. All right. That gives us a pretty good top, I think. Now to cut it out. Go. And then the reason why we cut this paper in half will become apparent in just a moment, because what we are going to do is do a second layer on the top that is just a little bit smaller than the first one. Maybe a lot smaller than the first one. We'll see. So that it gives even the greenery a sense of depth and dimension. Now, it's not going to be a different color. There we go, that's the word that I was looking for. It's not going to be a different color, so it'll be a pretty subtle difference with the second layer, but I'm hoping it'll work out. Go like that, and then like that. And then what we're going to do to make the next one smaller than this one is we're just going to lay it on top and trace it out. There we go. So just set it on top of there and trace around it. That way we can just be sure that we end up with something that's smaller and will fit over the top without exceeding the edges. Oh, unless we scooch it around as we're tracing it, and then all hope is lost. Okay. There we go, trace complete. Now, let's see, let's do something like that. So it's going to be a lot smaller, but I think it'll work out. So let's just go ahead and cut that out as well. And you may notice I'm not particularly taking too much care to cut on the lines. That's because I'll just turn it over before I glue it on and you won't be able to see the lines anyway. Go. Just not too concerned. There we go. All right, a little bit more. Okay. And there we have it. All right, green pants all cut out. Now they just need to be stuck to each other. So let's grab our glue and flip both of them over. And that's also how we are going to know that they will fit, because we're flipping them both over. So even though they're flipped over, it won't change their interaction with one another because we're doing it to both of them. Go, flip that one over and set it down right on top. There we are. And then we will let that dry for a moment, and while that's drying we will come back through and trim off anything that shows through the back side of the texture squares. There we go, all the way around. Go. Okay. Got everything that I could from the back side. Now I'll flip it over and get the ones on the fold over part. Go. So far so good. Okay. Last one. All right. Then put all those out of the way. Those we probably will actually just toss. Then it's time to stick down our green top of the pineapple to our yellow base of the pineapple. So we'll get a good amount of glue all over the bottom portion because the top portion is going to stick up above. So glue down here, not up here. And center it on the fold up part, and there we have it. One fold over pineapple bookmark made entirely out of paper. There we go. It can fit onto a book. Let's see if I've got a book around. I do, but none of them are good ones. You can use this one, I guess. There's a bunch of origami piled on top of it. This is my B-Notes book. But we can use it right like that. So you've got a baby pineapple, or you've got a full pineapple. That's what we did today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know. I love to hear from you. If you have any ideas or anything else that you would like to see me try, let me know that too. I put up new videos every day, so there's always something new for you to come and see. And I encourage you to come and check out what I am working on. I will see you all later. And remember to subscribe. Bye!